Welcome back to Book, Stage and Screen. You're here with Gordon and Samantha, and we welcome the talented Karla Burt. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
We don't mess around here with introductions.
I love it. Nothing like being called talented.
Well, I'm sure you, as you walk into the office, they're like, talented Karla Burt. There you are, talented, no doubt.
The whole office screaming it.
Yeah, you're a little cheer squad. Yeah,
yeah, that's
beautiful.
It.
I love it. And that's what you kind of need in year 12, isn't it? A little cheer squad. Nice segue there. So we got you on today to talk about My Year 12 Life, the new series from Princess Pictures. On the ABC. So tell us a little bit about it, Karla.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head with needing a cheer squad, because that's what I witnessed over the year of following 14 kids from around Australia. So what we did is we got 14 diverse kids all going through their final year of school, so that hideous year 12, and we gave them the camera because it's their year 12, it's their story, so we wanted to hear directly from them. So there's no teachers, there were no field producers, there's no parents, unless that was what the kids wanted to bring into their story. Yeah. But the more I watched them, just with that whole cheer squad thing, just knowing when kids have got support around them in that year, I just could really tell what a difference that made. It was a beautiful segue, because I actually think that's the one thing that I learnt the most, just seeing when you've just got unconditional love and support. Man, that goes a long way.
Yeah, because it's the most trying time, I guess, for them, going up. And when I was watching it, I was thinking, this is actually the perfect time to do this, because kids are quite happy to talk into a phone or a camera or something. If we'd done that in my day, oh no, I look fat.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, there wouldn't have even been the technology. But they're all, if it's quite natural, they all look very natural talking to camera and whizzing it around and showing where they are and what they're doing and stuff. But also as you said, you picked a diverse group, and it was really good. As a parent, I've got to say, we've got one coming up to VCE. I was thinking this is actually a good little insight, because most of the time they just hole away in their rooms. Absolutely,
and I think this was nearly a TV experiment. Something like this hasn't necessarily been done before, where you give the control completely over to the cast in this, and it's a true form of documentary where we really did follow their story and what they were saying. But the beautiful thing that has come back is the majority of the cast started using the camera like a friend and like a proper diary. So it was one of those things where, as parents or even friends or whoever, there's often those thoughts or those conversations that people have, lying in their bed or when they are locked away in the room and the mind's still racing. Yeah. And that was what was so beautiful about the show, that it was those times that the kids chose to turn the camera on. So it truly is an insight into what teenagers, that sort of 16 to 18-year-olds, what is kind of going on with their thoughts and their feelings. Yeah. And they used the camera, it was nearly like we watched the process of thinking and feeling move. Like you're rarely privy to that information. And I think it was also because they forgot that there were producers, and it was just them and the camera. Yeah. So there wasn't that kind of, it's not so much like their Instagram or their Facebook post sort of thing. That really is it's a different side to that generation again, because I think they can sometimes have an outward persona, but this was definitely their inner persona.
So do you recommend this would be a good show for families to sit and watch?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Together.
Yes. There are so many, because of the diversity of the cast. I feel like it doesn't matter what kind of family unit you are, where you come from, what kind of school, there will be someone on that cast that resonates, or someone also that you may not have ever crossed paths with before. So it is such a beautiful conversation starter. Like, if people could use it as an opportunity to use it to wonder and question, and use it as to catapult into conversations that you may not ordinarily have, that's one of the main objectives behind the show.
Because we are parents of a teenager, and sometimes the answers you get are more grunts than actual language. Were you worried that you might end up with that? You've got a bunch of teenagers grunting at the camera. How was your day? Good. Because that would be a tough edit. That would be very tough.
I was. I'm just remembering my own me at that age. Well, what we did is cast people who could also, knowing that they needed to be able to tell a story. So they're not precocious necessarily outward people, but I also knew that they would be people that would be able to express their feelings. Mm-hmm. But the other main point that I think is just interesting, when it's not a parent or a teacher, and so I was either me or just the camera, where there's no, not that parents mean to judge or put expectations, but it's just the intricate relationship between parent and child, where they didn't have that with me or the camera. So they kind of spoke a little bit more freely. And so that's where, again, where the beauty of it, that is kind of giving a helping hand to parents, where, it is that age where you get the grunt, where, but because we weren't the parent or the teacher or an authority kind of figure, they kind of opened up and showed, and that's the thing, it was opening up and with true vulnerability. It was really beautiful, and I was kind of honoured to be a part of it.
And so, talking about the casting, was it an open call, or how did you go about doing that?
Well, the wonderful world of online, it was unbelievable. So I've done casting for years, and so I sort of did the old, heaps of the old tricks in the book, and I contacted every single school in Australia and let them know that we were doing, this was the plan to make this sort of show. Yeah. And sure, a couple came that way, but oh my gosh, went onto Facebook and found HSC and VCE discussion boards, so just spoke again directly to the audience. And I was just like, well, there you go again. They came, we got nearly 1,000 applications. Gosh. And the majority of them came from me finding the audience, which was that, and just talking directly to them rather than nearly going through the gatekeepers, whether that be the school or parents or that sort of thing. So I feel like straight from the casting stage right through to on air, it's definitely just been talking directly to that age bracket.
Well, I watch a lot of animal documentaries, and Sam often, says, "Oh God, there's the little lion cub. That lion cub's going to get killed because, you're not allowed to interfere." Was that your policy as well? If you saw one of these children on a complete train wreck, you weren't going to interfere?
Well, we obviously also had a duty of care. So if there was someone coming along, and you get emotionally attached as well. So if there was a train wreck coming along or the stress, there were a few things that would happen. A, to make sure, to have the adult eye to think, is this going to be a permanent train wreck, or is this just a train wreck like a teenager where it's fine, it's bad right now, but
good television,
we'll be fine in 2 minutes sort of thing.
Good television.
And good TV, because we also, as teenagers, we know that that's also what does, what happens. But being a show for the ABC, and it was commissioned by ABC Me as well. So, it's PG, and it is also, ABC beautifully have an amazing editorial policy. So we really always had duty of care and looking after the cast. Yeah. So if the stress was getting too much, or if they're not from the show, from year 12 was getting too much, it would also be checking in and saying, look, I just watched a video diary and you flagged A, B and C. Yeah. How are you? Is there anyone we need to talk to? A couple of them may have needed to see psychologists through the year, which is a common thing in year 12. Yeah. So we were very much a part of that process and that conversation. And then obviously just making sure it's been a very open dialogue with the cast, so they're all aware of what storylines are making it to air.
Okay, yeah.
And just to make sure, I kind of have a sort of a personal policy that you wouldn't want to be, there's two things. We wanted to make sure that this didn't air whilst they were going through year 12, so that's why we tracked them all of last year, and it's on air this year, so they didn't have to be on TV and going through year 12. So that was a conscious decision. But also just making sure that they have gone through and nearly emotionally dealt with the tough stuff that they did go before it also goes to air.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, just to make sure, I mean, because they're young people who are, entering their next stage, whether it be uni or adulthood. So there was definitely a big duty of care that we took very, very seriously in this process.
So no children were harmed during the production?
I promise they weren't.
There's no little lion cubs.
No,
well done.
I would have been crying myself to sleep.
So was it they sent it in weekly? Like how prevalent were you in their lives in terms of looking through there?
Well, it's the most peculiar production setup ever.
Yeah.
We relied on Australia Post.
Wow.
So we didn't want them to have to do a lot of data wrangling themselves. So everyone shot on average 5 to 10 minutes a day, which ends up being 30 minutes to an hour a week.
Yeah.
And then they would have an allocated day that they would send their SD cards in an express post bag.
Okay.
So every week we were on rotation of, like Tom from Kununurra is coming in today. And then we'd have a dedicated producer who would sit and watch every single piece of footage. Wow. And then we would work out what the common sort of themes are or follow a story and then that would go through to the edit room.
Yep.
And then we would compile from there. So it was, just from them sending, and then we'd send the SD cards back. So there were like 2 or 3 data packs kind of on high rotation between each cast member.
And they actually did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were saying that, I'm like, what was the...
I know.
It's in the post is an actual excuse, but,
Well, that's the beauty of Express Post where you can track it.
Gotcha.
And that was the other thing we said to them, we're all working together. So if there is a time when you haven't sent it, please don't feel like you need to lie or make up an excuse. Please, please, please. So, and so it was one of those things where it was just like, if you're struggling to do something, just let us know.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing was doing 5 to 10 minutes every day. It's sort of nearly like doing morning pages, when it just gets you into the habit of talking.
Yeah.
And then, so it became a bit of a routine for them. And that's where I also thought it was a bit of a learning curve even for me, where you're like, if you do a practice of something every day, it just becomes easier. So they were, I mean, I'm still in shock that we kind of expected out of the 14 that surely a couple would drop out. Like, we actually anticipated that, but no, they all did it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it's obviously a great, experiment's the wrong word, but a great show. Is it going to be, like, are there kids now doing it for this year?
Well, our kids are still shooting. Some of them didn't want to give the camera back. And then, because there's going to be 24 episodes that are airing on ABC now, but then we're also doing a Where Are They Now, which will air at the end of the year, just to see what really does happen after the ATAR comes out. So that's why a couple of them are still shooting
no spoilers.
now.
No
way. Don't you worry about that.
And no Oscars fiasco.
No, oh my gosh. Oh, that would be dreadful.
Yeah. No, but I love it. It's great because it is one of those things that, once you're through it, you're kind of like, oh, look, it was horrendous, but you get through it. But when you're in the battle of it, looking at the series, you can go, oh, it is that thing where you think everything's about it.
Yeah.
And it is and it isn't. I mean, it does affect certain things, but in the long run, 25, no one's saying, what's your ATAR score?
Completely. Yeah. And that's what I found even now. So they finished, 6 weeks ago. And it's interesting. I said to them all, you need to document how you're feeling right now, because even next week when it comes out, your opinion and thought about next year will have shifted dramatically. But the other thing is, when you're in it, it's not my place to say there's life after year 12 or don't worry about the ATAR or do worry about the ATAR, because there's so many mixed messages that they're getting about the importance of this year. And that's the other thing, that all 14 of them were so different with their own opinion on the system, even though they're all in the one system. So, but it is really interesting how their opinions have even shifted now And that's 6 weeks later where they're like, oh, or, you know, or some of them might be, oh, I needed to go through all of that to prepare me for university. Yeah, so it's really, really interesting.
And, you know, most shows benefit from having a romance storyline in them. Is there any, without giving away, is there any romance in this?
Well, oh my gosh, they're teenagers, so yes. And then it made me look back, and I mean, obviously not within the cast because they never met each other, but just following it, oh my gosh, it just brought back so many memories. And then I thought, oh my God, maybe I was a dork. I just didn't fall in love as intensely as some of these storylines have. And then people, without also giving anything away, that intensity of feeling and relationship at that age, the first time of being in love, and the impact that it can have whether you break up or you stay together, or the impact that has on the fact that you think you've met the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and it alters your path. It's fascinating. Yeah. And you kind of, as adults, forget. Well, I had forgotten. Yeah. Or maybe I was in denial.
Well, what about you? How's it ended up for you? You're a successful producer.
Let's hear your ATAR score, Karla.
Oh my gosh! Well, so interestingly, I feel like deep down I always knew what I wanted to do, but maybe chose a path that was hiding behind, probably for fear kind of thing. You know, like I think I always wanted to work in TV. Yeah. But I chose to study public relations.
Oh, okay.
But then it's interesting how the path always, well, not always, I shouldn't say that, but the path often finds you in the end anyway. Yeah. And the other interesting thing, I was really happy with my ATAR back then, but I feel like, well, I know the system has changed a lot, but I'm pretty sure I can't even compare mine to theirs because I feel like the ranking is so more intense than when we were going through. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's...
So you're not going to tell us,
I think I got an 80, I got 88, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, we should be proud of
88. I don't think it's equivalent to their 88 now.
Of course it is, Karla.
Well, I'm like, it may have only been a 72. Not. I mean, I would be happy with that as well. But no, that's the other thing where you're like, I think it's funny that 25 years later, I still remember my number.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you do. But that's the thing, nobody asks.
No.
It's like when, when you have a baby, someone says, oh, how big was the baby? And then about 6 months later, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
It's so true.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
And then I wonder, though, if people that got 99...
Oh, yeah, you'd be walking around with a shirt
still going around.
Yes.
do we have... Do you, in the show, do you see them opening their scores?
Yeah.
Is that the penultimate show?
It is so dramatic. Like, even when I knew the answers, even when I was watching the footage back, I was like on the edge of my seat. And that's the weird thing, where it's just like, I know it shouldn't matter, but you follow this story and they're all working towards the number. So the reveal you care about. Like,
yeah. It's a great series. Even last night I was watching and there was one kid that said he got up late and then he go, well, I woke up later than recess, so what's the point of going? And our middle child went past and went, yeah. And I'm like this, oh, what? I'm like, that's no. That was a joke, I think.
He's a paid actor. It's a written line.
Oh, my gosh, Tom Forrest, that's exactly every time I would be like, please set your alarm. I'd be screaming at the computer watching his video. I'm like, and he'd say no, and he'd get friends over to wake him up in time. He'd have 5 alarms, but he still couldn't wake up in time to make it to school.
Just not a morning person. That's
no,
right.
that's
most teenagers aren't. But yeah, so it's actually a miracle they all get through.
That's exactly it.
Year 12.
And he's now in politics.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well done. Oh, sorry, I've ruined the ending there. Sorry.
Probably going to be our leader.
What about alcohol? Is there any alcohol featured in this?
Well, it can be. This is where the PG and the editorial policy comes in from an ABC perspective. So they don't shy away from talking about balancing partying and school, and but you don't necessarily see it, but we don't shy away from the fact that it's happened.
Well, if they're shooting in the morning, I hope there's no alcohol. What's going on in their lives if they're waking up?
There's some times where they took that camera and I'm like, it wasn't necessary to take the camera there. I mean, thanks, guys, but I don't need to see that.
So it's basically a real-life Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, that's it. It really is. Straight without the scripts. Yeah. And it all happens. That's where you just think all of these amazing scripts and drama and soap comes from, real life. And so here it is, warts and all.
It's really, really engaging. And as we were talking before, it's really good if you've got kids, I think, to sit down and watch. You can catch it on Sundays on the ABC at 6:30, but you can also catch it anytime on ABC iView, and I believe they've got extra footage on there as well.
An extra 406 clips.
Okay, that's
a lot.
Why is that? What happened?
There's lots.
There's a lot of footage.
Yeah.
And it's just really lovely. You just get to delve a bit deeper, and if you've got a favourite character, then you can just go and find out even more about what happened in their life.
And have they found themselves like with little fans?
Yes, it's so cute. It is so lovely. Yeah, there'll be, and it's funny how different people resonate with different cast members, and so then with the different types of fans, it's actually a really interesting. I mean, not a social experiment, but from a psychological point of view, it's been really interesting watching how that has all unfolded. So, they are getting recognised in the street. I think it's a bit wacky because obviously there were never any producers, so they forgot they were making a TV show.
on TV.
Totally. So cute. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, congratulations. It's a really good series. I really enjoy watching it, and we're going to sit our other ones down and watch it as well.
Thank you.
And we look forward, hopefully there'll be more. I imagine that it's going to be a runaway success. So thanks so much, Karla, for talking to us today.
We also want to see one about TV producers, so we want to see your
where are they now?
Just sitting at a computer,
going, oh God,
that's it.
Coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
That's exactly. I've had 3 for the day. It still hasn't worked.
Well, good
Thank
to know.
you so much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye bye.